Do you know the world's oldest currency is still circulating today? Can you imagine 200 years without money? Yes, we are talking about the pound, the official currency of England. The British pound originated in continental Europe during the Roman era. The name was taken from the Latin word poundus, meaning weight. The pound symbol was derived from the ornate L in Libra. The pound was a currency unit as early as 775 AD in Anglo-Saxon England, equivalent to 1 pound weight of silver. During the 8th century, this valuation was a vast fortune. The sterling was adopted as the first national currency by Aethelstan, King of England. He set up mints around the country to supply the growing nation. 1 pound could buy you 15 cows. The currency that was a major part of England had an abrupt decline with the decamping of Romans in 410 CE. For almost 200 years, the country explicitly had no coin production or money circulation. In today's episode, we will narrate the concealed pages of the British coinage history, where money usage was discarded almost overnight. The earliest coins circulated in Britain were the Gallo-Belgic gold staters. These were imported to Britain from Gaul by the native Celtic tribes through trade. Gaul was a region in Western Europe encompassing present-day Belgium, France, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and parts of Switzerland, Germany, and northern Italy. The introduction of Britain's coinage in around 60 to 50 BC was uninscribed. Only later did rulers realize the potential of inscriptions. Gradually, the coins began to be issued in the name or specific style of distinct British tribes or monarchs. Eventually, around the 1st century BC, Britain earned a high standing for creating superior quality goods. They provided the best woolen clothes, and it was widely considered the height of style to own the fabric made on the island. The products of the British market were little known to the outer world before the arrival of the Romans to this land. It was also unable to reach the consumers as the island traded in items that had long since fallen out of public use. The various tribes of the island involved in different craftsmanship used distinctive currencies meticulously hand-minted by them. This ambiguity was a major barrier in trading with Britain, as those who resided further inland had no access to regional currencies made by the tribes. Thus, many people opted for the barter system as their trade method. After all, the value of money is its purchasing power or the quality of goods and services it can buy. Barter system simply substitutes the Bibles as the monetary medium, but is not feasible for larger economies. There was a huge mess in cross-channel trade, due to the non-acceptance of Roman money in Britain on legal grounds. Besides, the European countries were not ready to acknowledge the various tribal currencies. Comparatively, it was much easier to trade inside of Europe, since the Roman monetary system was recognized by the kingdoms occupied by the Roman Empire with their expansion over the continent. The commercial link between Europe and Britain was weary, due to the compulsion imposed by Britain on exchanging goods for goods rather than goods for money. Britain benefited from the barter system, which was doing well for them. British coinage was affected by constant interaction with the Romans during Julius Caesar's invasion of Gaul in 51 BCE. Though the coins retained the basic Celtic abstract aesthetic, Roman-style profile images and Latin inscriptions, typically consisting of a tribal king or ruler's name, also began to be integrated. A standard currency was implemented throughout the Roman Empire, which gradually made the coins to be accepted in Rome, Athens, and within the Roman-controlled areas of the British Isles as well. The Roman Emperor issued gold and silver coinage, whereas the Senate produced brass coins around Britain, especially in the country's most remote places. The barter system slowly began to be replaced with the money system, with the discovery of multiple small denominations of Roman. This deviation highly commercialized and profited the economy, and money became a base for trading even subsidiary elements rather than barter. Though supply and demand influenced the money flow, the explicit reason behind the sudden boost of the currency system was taxation. There was an immense requirement of capital for the Roman state to fund their military infrastructure, which was spent in Britain, and were often used locally to pay the Roman military cantonments and to provide them with food and other amenities. Paradoxically, the Roman subjugation of Britain was a boon to the British economy as it increased considerably with their presence. Undoubtedly, Rome had a great significance and impingement on British culture, especially in business and material living. The Roman effect continued and spread like wildfire. The people of Britain started exhibiting Roman influence by adopting and using Roman objects. For instance, mass-produced pottery, glassware, and iron nails were discovered by archaeologists in ancient British communities. Reportedly, there were copious amounts of elementary Roman-styled gizmos for construction purposes. Roman dominance was not only confined to the material part, but also extended to the eating style of the inhabitants of Britain. The native British diet was extensively modified with Roman colonization. Their diet included imported Italian fruits like apples, and they even started cultivating them on their land. It was remarkable that the British were disciplined in preserving their traditional practices, especially their indigenous languages. Due to the lack of regional mints, Rome's central mint was the production hub for all coins. The construction of regional mints began only towards the end of the 2nd century CE. In 286 and 278 CE, the British mints located in London and Colchester started to synthesize coins. Roman coinage was mostly made of gold, silver, and brass. During special seasons and events, the mints also imprinted coins that were multiples or fractions of the standard units. Still, the lion's share of the coins circulated in Britain came from other mints in the empire, despite the existence of London and Colchester mints. Though the initial phase of establishing Roman coinage was favourable for the British economy, it eventually invited problems of its own. There was a definite limit on silver and other metals reaching the empire, which restricted economic activity to the amount of Roman coinage in circulation. It was challenging for the rulers of Rome to meet the war expenses and maintenance of newly constructed amphitheatres and circuses with the limited circulating gold and silver coins. To tackle the situation, they decided to depreciate the currency by reducing the silver content in each coin. This action led to inflation, followed by hyperinflation. The devaluation of the Roman currency, among other things, contributed to the downturn of the Roman Empire, which ultimately collapsed in 476 CE. A dramatic fall in coin usage occurred following the withdrawal of the Romans from Britain. British economic life was back to square one, mostly based on barter and subsistence agriculture. The organic proliferation of trade that appeared with the Romans vanished with them after the empire's fall, and everything was back to basics. It took 200 years for the British to gain stability and trade with the outside world to maintain their economy. A notable upswing happened with the Franks. The invasion of Viking Danes in England demanded the adoption of coinage as a means for exchange. Around the end of the 9th century, they introduced the imitations of Anglo-Saxons before producing currency inside Danish-ruled northern England. During the 10th century, the Anglo-Saxon leader Aethelstan stopped the Viking advance, initiated the ultimate unification of Anglo-Saxon Britain, and gave birth to what is now considered England. Since then, every new coin in England was struck with his name and his portrait, and on the reverse was the name of the moneyer and the mint in a legend encircling a little cross. With that note, we end today's video. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we upload the next content.